on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Free delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are superb distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love. Like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
We got the call on our way home that something was wrong. When we got here, we saw that the entire house was engulfed in flames. Just sitting there and looking at here, basically a whole life investment going up in flames. It did take a toll on us as a family. Once we decided to rebuild, the thought came up to use the Housing Authority of Grenada. After they sent in their quotation, which we thought was very, very reasonable, we decided to go with Housing Authority of Grenada. They were very helpful. They visited the site weekly. The staff was very professional. The contractor was very professional. They delivered our house on time. The quality of work was amazing. And as you can see today, we are not disappointed. I would definitely recommend Housing Authority of Grenada for all your construction needs. With their affordable costs, high level of customer service, guidance, and building expertise, they will help you as they help us.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen, Guess and Klein and G-Shock, all at the best prices in Grenada. We also buy scrap gold and offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit our brand new remodeled store or call us on telephone number 414-3114-232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only. And of course, we'd like to welcome everyone to another Mikey Live program. How are you doing? How was the day today? What's breaking the internet? Now, what's breaking the internet? Let me take my time and ask the question. What's breaking the internet? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Welcome to another Mikey Live program. Folks, it's always my pleasure to be back with you to talk to you about, things that are happening in Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, just around us, we minding our business. So, news for tonight, I had a real hard time with Facebook, boy. For the day, I had a hard time with Facebook. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, people. I don't know if Mark just decided. Sometimes, there's this saying that every so often, someone or people commit some form of self-destruction, right? You know that, right? Yes, there's this belief that at some point in time in everyone's life, he or she will commit some sort of self-destruction that he or she will have to recover from. Think about it, right? So Facebook seems to be having a moment, a midlife crisis, and it's just become, I don't know, man. It's just like, anyway. TAMCC, they've got the adult literacy and numeracy program that we want to tell you about. We're going to be telling you about that in a moment. The NMP, boy, they put out a statement. And as well, two men charged with burglary, robbery, and rape. You hear me? Burglary, robbery, and rape. We'll explain that to you. And Marshall Montano is under fire for deciding to host his Marshall 40 on Carnival Friday in Trinidad and Tobago. By the way, the country, boy, they're experiencing a surge in COVID-19 cases in Trinidad and Tobago. We have a lot of things to tell all about, So anyway, folks, we're coming back on the business. We're taking a break. And when we come back, it could be real news in Ole Lili Lolo. So remember, share the business if you have not yet done so. Share the business. You understand? The break that we're about to take is about maybe 30 or 40 seconds, somewhere around there. All right? Reminding you, the headline is brought to you through the kind compliment of Courts Grenada Limited, Nawasa, the Housing Authority of Grenada, Real Value, IGA Supermarket, Superb Distributors. Also, we've got Infinite Contractors. We take a break. We'll be back.
Gifts of love with trade, bringing love for you this year. Communion showing that we care. With gifts of love with trade.
It's your Gifts of Love for Cheer 2.0. 'Tis the season for holly jolly days at the communal. It's all about sharing the warmth of this season with those you love. Getting on this special loan, taking advantage of great interest rates with no principal payments until January 2023. Share the gift of love. Make it a merrier Christmas with the communal. Exciting prizes for members throughout the promotion. For we are your Santa this Christmas. Offer ends January 31st, 2023. Lending terms and conditions apply.
Alrighty, I told all you it was going to be a short little break and thing, and I thought all of mine telling all about it. So the first thing that we have to tell you about, this one is very important, and so we need to tell you about that. From time to time you would see that there are little programs and things that is happening, particularly that is not usual. So to TAMCC, they have a special program on that we would like to tell you about. I'm just trying to see if I could pull up the business on the business for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Look at here, all right? So if you want to improve your reading, writing, comprehension, and math skill, the School of Continued Education at the T.A. Marisho Community College, they are offering a program in adult literacy and numeracy. So they are inviting persons to, to exercise that right, to educate yourself, to expand your horizons by signing up, by registering for this. All right, you can call 401-389 extension 2229, extension 2273, extension 2274, or extension 2328. You can also send an email to HADASSAHR, that is hadassar@tamcc.edu.gd. So this is not going to be around forever, all right? So they're asking you to register as soon as possible. But here's what. Persons over the age of 16 who are unable to comfortably read, write, or calculate, this is for you. So it's not only for adults who are 30 or well, no. Even if you are 16, 17, 18 and you're having struggles, all right? Reading, writing, or calculating, don't miss out on this opportunity. You can see it as a chance to improve your reading, writing, comprehension, and mathematics skills. So take that step forward intellectually, all right? And it's okay to further your studies, to develop yourself. I myself, I used to always be skeptical about furthering my studies after becoming an adult because there's this perception that education or going through that process of learning or schooling is for children. You understand? So it must be a hard pill to swallow that you're 25 and you have to go back to school and sometimes possibly be sitting down by 18-year-olds. But if that's the means by which you educate yourself or further your studies, why not? You understand? Why not? And you realize that it's a very interesting experience. You're learning the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s and life experiences by interacting with people who are much older than you are or younger than you are, who are not necessarily your age group. And it was probably one of the best experience that I had in my life going back to school after becoming an adult. Graduating with a degree, understanding why I am learning, Sometimes when they send you to school and then you sabotage. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. I bought a brand new system and it's doing me the same thing. Like sometimes you get a cutting of the audio. I don't even know what's going on. I bought microphone. I bought a whole new wireless system. Same thing. Brand new computer. I don't know what else to do. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Or maybe Facebook are doing shopping in studio. So earlier, the World Bank has published its prospective growth forecasts for the years 2023 and 2024 for the countries in Latin America and the Caribbean, and Grenada is listed. Recent developments indicate that the two territories, Latin America and the Caribbean, are estimated to have grown 3.6% last year. Now, the World Bank says robust expansion in the first half of the year was driven mostly by consumption, supported by recovering labor markets. However, activity weakened last year, that's about last year, as slowing global growth and trigger financial conditions started to take effect. That would be a tighter, financial conditions started to take effect. Now, inflation surged in 2022. That's right. Inflation, it surged in 2022, reaching multi-decade highs in many countries, with price pressures broadening to a wide array of goods and services. Now, food prices rose particularly rapidly, the World Bank is saying. So things that used to cost you one price, now you have to add a couple more cents or dollars for the same good, especially where food is concerned. Now, headline inflation appeared to peak in the middle of the year in most countries, but it remains well above central bank targets. Now, accordingly, central bank continued raising policy rates last year into double digits in the region's largest economies. Now, regional investment is expected to decline this year. That's right, dampened by higher financing costs, soft business confidence, and elevated policy uncertainty. Now, there's an expectation that the forecast for Grenada will be just around 3.2% this year and 3% next year. In other countries within the region, the World Bank is predicting growth of 4.8 for Barbados, 4.1 for the Bahamas, Belize 2.0 this year, Dominica 5.8, and the Dominican Republic 5.3, among others. Now, growth in Central America is forecast to soften to 3.2% this year, as a declaration in the United States economy hampers the exports and inward remittances. All right. We are hoping that things will look brighter and brighter for us and for the region, you know, because God knows we cannot handle a recession or any of such kind, as we were telling you, as alluded to by the World Bank yesterday. It was yesterday or day before, you know, and they were saying that, hey, you know, we are going to be coming very close to that if things don't change. All right. Olio, here it is. 2 men, according to police. Prince Harry. Wait, hold on. So let me make it very clear. Prince Harry is not Prince Harry. Prince Harry is just another individual. Okay? So according to police, Prince Harry, who is a 25-year-old landscaper of Vincent St. David, and Alden Joseph, who is 29 years old, laborer of Dudmar in St. David, they were jointly charged by officers attached to the Criminal Investigations Department, the CID, with the offenses of burglary, 2 counts of burglary, that is, and robbery with violence, 2 counts of that as well. Now, Harry was also charged with 1 count of rape and wounding, and Joseph was charged with 2 counts of rape. Now, the charges stemmed from incidents which occurred on New Year's Day at Syracuse in St. David. So it happened on the first day of, imagine being raped on the first day of the year, when you're expecting good things and to start off the year with a bang. So both men, according to police, allegedly broke into 2 separate houses at night and committed the offenses. Now, according to police, the men appeared at the St. David Magistrates Court today and were remanded to His Majesty's prison until tomorrow, January 12, 2023. But that one big and serious, boy. All I find that one hard to deal with. No. Oh yeah. The new National Party. They say that they are concerned that there is a surge in the XBB 1.5 Omicron subvariant COVID-19 cases in the United States and a marked outbreak of COVID-19 cases in China. In a release, the party said that they would like to encourage the government of Grenada to take proactive measures to prevent or minimize severe sickness, hospitalizations, and deaths. According to the party, recent developments with the virus have led some countries to take precautionary measures to protect their citizens. It goes on to say that we therefore urge the government to seek to obtain supplies of the latest bivalent COVID-19 vaccines and other pharmaceuticals and material supplies to protect and treat citizens, especially senior citizens, those with underlying medical conditions, and the frontline workers. It goes on to say that as a responsible opposition, we also urge every citizen to listen to the advisory from the Ministry of Health or other credible sources and protect yourselves and your loved ones by following established protocols. In Trinidad, hundreds of new cases. Hundreds. But here we ain't that bad. We're doing all right. But God knows for how long that will be the case. And I think with
it's imperative, and the onus is on all of us, that we protect ourselves. I already see a reasonable amount of change in the environment, because I've seen people are wearing masks now, randomly. You see one or two people out of every 10, you might see one or two people wearing masks now. So I guess much people are taking their own initiative and, taking proactive measures. You know what I mean? So, all right. The NDC government, headed by Honorable Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, they are again out. Well, they just concluded another in a series of meetings aimed towards informing people of the situation or the status of the Marketing and National Importing Board, and seeking advice and an audience with the general public as to what they think should happen with that organization. Understand? Tonight, the consultation was held at the community of St. John, Guave, the parish of St. John in the community of Guave, and the Prime Minister and others made their presentations, and of course the people were engaging with the Prime Minister and his team about what they think should happen. All right, I think there's another one coming up again. All right, well, yeah, let's jump this here a bit. Soca star Marshall Montano, he has announced an event called Marshall 40 on Carnival Friday next year. You understand? On Carnival will be held on February 20 to the 21st, with Carnival Friday being February 17. Understand? He announced it on his Instagram page on Wednesday. This also comes after Marshall staged his final Marshall Monday concert, The Wedding, a celebration of his marriage in 2020, and began his Soca cruise, Melee, collaboratively with Tribe. Melee was held for the first time in Mexico earlier this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Marshall 40, which marked his 40-year career, will be held at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain. Statement added that doors will be open from 6 p.m. and tickets will go on sale as of January 1st. So I think, let me see something. I just want to check the date on this because I'm getting a little, if you realize the error that I'm getting here. Okay, so let me just rephrase. So this is going to be happening this year. All right, I realize a little inconsistency here. So this is going to be happening this year, 2023. It was announced late last year. Just a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. All right, he made it public, he made it known, and that was then amplified by people's reaction to it in recent days. Know that it is sinking in that Fantastic Friday or Bacchanal Friday will be clashing, or let's say the other way around, Marshall Montano's event will be clashing with the most popular day of Carnival for Trinidad and Tobago. All right, so whereas some will welcome the event, there are others who are petrified. They are upset. They are mad that it would appear that Marshall Montano has very little regard for a national event such as the International Soca Monarch that also falls on that Bacchanal Friday night. Let's see how that will turn out, because you don't want people like you as an artist, you don't want them to be having to choose between you and looking at a rising star who is performing at the International. You don't want people having to choose, and I understand where people are coming from. You don't want to have to ask people to choose between supporting you, who have earned your spot as the Soca king, right? Having to choose between you and supporting a young star from Grenada who comes to Trinidad to make his mark at the International Soca Monarch. You don't want people to choose between that. You don't want people to choose between an artist that's been singing for 30 years and is appearing in the International Soca Monarch for the first time with a hit, you understand? And might very well be able to capture that title. You don't want them to choose. So I get it. I get it. You understand? So anyway, lady, that talk thing. We would have a very important program for you tonight. Tomorrow night, tomorrow, God's willing. Tomorrow, people, we'll be talking to a lady, a mother, who said that her child suffered seizures. Yeah, when I take up my glasses are because I'm serious. I can't see nothing but a day. I could feel like me way. Don't worry about that. I just have to know how to put it back on. The mother says that because of interactions that she had with nurses to a lesser extent, but doctors more so, doctors at two of the nation's hospitals, Princess Alice Hospital and the General Hospital, with a son who was sick. So the son, seizures, and having to deal with the doctors made her feel helpless, hopeless, mentally drained and frustrated, so much to the point that it was so hard to see her child crying from excruciating pain, not being told anything as to what's going on, and days passing and not being told what was going on with her child. Running up and down, doing tests here and there, watching needles going through her son here and ever so often. No one communicating to her what is happening with her child. You know what she said? She said, it got so bad that I felt like taking my child and jumping into the sea. That's what she said. She said it was so frustrating to watch her child scream from pain and no one pays him any mind. It was so stressful to be running behind doctors to find out what's going on with her child. And it seemed to have been a big mystery. No one wanted to tell her anything. And up to this date, after the child is discharged, no one really articulated to her what was happening to her child, what caused it to happen to her child in the first place. Apparently it turned out to be some sort of reaction to a medication that was given to the child. The child's skin started falling off. Falling off. You hear? Nobody telling her what's going on. She thinks it's kidney problem. She thinks it's liver problem. She thinks it's heart problem. She doesn't know. She said up to today, weeks later, not a word. Not a word as to what was happening to her child. And I think it's she alone. Hold on. Because I can tell you that I have had personal experience with the same thing. I can tell you that I've been approached by many other people about the same thing. And let me tell you why we will be doing this program tomorrow. I'll tell you why, and I say it now. Nobody better to call me because that program going through. Don't call me because the program will happen. On several occasions, people come to me and say, Mikey, this is the experience that I had in the hospital. Or Mikey, this is the experience that I had with a doctor. And then you speak to people in the background. Because you don't want to publish everything. I mean, come on, what's the point of that? You have to go directly to the people for a change. You have to tell them Say, listen, this is the thing. Can you fix this? How can this be fixed? This needs to be fixed. So you know what? To get some sort of result, you don't necessarily need to go public. You work with the people who can inspire those changes. I've been doing that for years. One lady said she watched them allow a woman to fall off a bed because the woman said she really wanted to go, she wanted to go to pee, you know. She doesn't go. She will pee herself. She couldn't move on her own. She asking for help. Nobody helped her. That's a couple years ago. That's a couple years ago. Right? She tried to go pee, fell off the bed. After a while, she died. She died. I can't tell you she died from the fall. I can't tell you that. Now, doctor. That same night, she died. The patient was left. So the patient on the bed now, cover the patient died. Because the patient died. A little while after, when the family was informed and so, the patient that was witnessing all of that came to me shaking like a leaf in the radio station, like this. Mikey, this is what I witnessed. I witnessed when the lady begged. I witnessed the lady fell. I witnessed when the lady subsequently died because I was on the ward. I witnessed the cover of the lady, I think, and I also witnessed the people lying to the family as to the time of death of the person and how the person died. Right? The young lady came to me. She says, I am scared for others because I was there and I witnessed this. I tell you, the woman come in the radio station, she's shaking like a leaf, traumatized. I called the authorities. I said, I can't put that out there. I can't. I'm a citizen of Grenada. I can't put that out there. I give them weeks, months, years. Nothing, because I keep checking back. Nothing. That just fall. Another lady came. She said, another situation. Nobody wants to change the child. Another child now. You know, so he was having bed sores and all of that. You know, he couldn't move around. Special needs child. You see there? When she watched the child from over the weekend, when she left, come back now, weekend pass and cover the child. Fall smell. When they turn the child, just how she leave the child a couple days ago, just how she come back and meet the child now, this time, a big hole! Like something eat out part of your body. You can imagine the pain that child went in. They send me pictures and stuff and a lot of voice notes, Mikey. You understand? And so then I sent it to somebody. I didn't even tell them nothing. I just sent it to them. I sent it to a medical practitioner. They say, where is this? I said, Grenada. They said, well, that child will die from some name sepsis or some kind of sepsis. I can't remember. Don't quote me. Some kind of name. Some something, I think. Right? Because you would have seen how a lot of the child's body was just eaten out. Because you had to, if the child is bedridden, also, you have to turn them, ever so often. You can't just leave them in one position because, ting. So when the medical practitioner say what the thing is, well, I said, well, exactly. Here is the death certificate. Here is the death certificate. And just what you told me that the child is likely to die from if nothing is addressed, if this doesn't get addressed, this is exactly what happened. Child died. Child died. You understand? And that's another case. And many more. I had my own when my son was born. And I told you guys, I don't want to come here and talk about them kind of business, you know, because it's hard. It's hard to relive those moments. It's traumatizing. It's traumatizing. And then when you speak of it, what happens is that everybody gets branded. And that's not fair to those who do their best. Because I've met the extremes when my son was born. Extremely nice doctors. Extremely nice nurses. And I also stared the devil right in his face. So then how do you deal with that kind of stuff? Because on the left are people, the devil himself, or herself. And on the right, the angels, and possibly Jesus himself. So how? So you have those the extremes. When shift change, is one set of thing, and when the next shift come back, it's a whole set of. So still one has to be careful in how they bring out those information, because you don't want people to innocently get caught in that web. You understand? I watched my son, and I thought my son was going to die. I thought it was the worst thing to happen to a child. Looking at my son, and I mean, with the lack of information, people just telling you, give me the baby. Imagine me more bigger than anything else, you know. Imagine me and all them cut me down to size. Because all I'm thinking about, I don't want nobody victimize my child and my wife. Because if you do that, so I put my tail in my leg. And I had to hush my mouth. So imagine for other people. I watch men, doctors come and say, give me the baby. And then takes the baby and go into a room. And then you hear the baby scream for about 30 minutes. Ah! Excruciating, and then they make a little peep and you see they're trying to put in an IV or whatever, or trying to inject, not an IV, trying to inject to get some blood from a 3-day-old baby, 4-day-old baby. Doing it like novice. You all know when you look on YouTube, not so he doing, but you have to hush him out. You can't tell the doctor. He probably have a special skill. And then after 30 minutes of trying and sticking your child 3 and 4 times and failing, a 3-day-old baby here with needles, they come back and just hand you the baby. You don't know what they did, how they did it, why they did it. Well, you know how, but you don't know why. Yeah? And just hand you back the baby and just go. And then you have to find out, by the way, because your air sharp, that the doctor telling the nurse, well, that after 30 minutes of trying, maybe doing it the wrong way, that, well, we were not able to get the blood drawn. You what? So after you stick me child 4 times, a 3-day-old baby, 4 times, 5 times, juke, 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 child boiled for half an hour at the top of his voice, you didn't what? You were not able to successfully draw the blood? But you don't tell your mother that. You don't tell your father that, and the mother who's there in the room. You tell a nurse, and the mother and the father overheard. So then what has to happen? Now the nurse had to come and give him a couple jukes again? But what? And the nurse comes and 1 juke. And the nurse gets through. And a parent must not say anything. or must not feel anyway. That's just the process. That's how the cookie crumbles. You know what I mean? So I have to stand there and asking, that's how it's done around here? That's how it's done? You are told that a test needs to be done 6 o'clock tomorrow to find out things about your child or whoever. And then 2 days pass, no test, no results, nobody ain't saying nothing to you. And you just have to just be there waiting in limbo and just see people come and take thing and juke thing and juke thing and juke thing and juke thing. That's how we operate around here. So I know. Because I've seen it firsthand. You understand? So this woman says that she felt like taking her own life and that of her child because it was so mentally hard for her to deal with. That her child is in so much pain. And she's seen it for herself that if she touches her child's face, the skin falls off. And no one says anything to her as to what is happening to her child. She brought her child for one thing, and here it is that she's dealing with another. And up to today, after the child has been discharged, not a word. She said she had to read the discharge paper, to understand what was happening to her child, and then she Googled it. I'm not making it up. She said she had to Google it. So, we are going to have this program, like it or not, tomorrow. And this woman will be telling her story of her experience. And we will listen. Okay? So join me then. Look at time. Let me take a break and come back. And when I come back, we'll have for you the national report. We'll also have for you the weather. Stay tuned. And if you have not yet done so, we really want to encourage you to share the business.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Free delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are superb distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love. Like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
we got the call on our way home that something was wrong. When we got here, we saw that the entire house was engulfed in flames. Just sitting there and looking at basically your whole life investment going up in flames. It did take a toll on us as a family. Once we decided to rebuild, the thought came up to use the Housing Authority of Grenada. After they sent in their quotation, which we thought was very, very reasonable, we decided to go with Housing Authority of Grenada. They were very helpful. They visited the site weekly. The staff was very professional. The contractor was very professional. They delivered our house on time. The quality of work was amazing. And as you can see today, we are not disappointed. I would definitely recommend Housing Authority of Grenada for all your construction needs. With their affordable costs, high level of customer service, guidance, and building expertise, they will help you as they help us.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen, Guess and Klein and G-Shock, all at the best prices in Grenada. We also buy scrap gold and offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit our brand new remodeled store or call us on telephone number 414-3114, 232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only.
Contractors and Machinery. We are your one-stop engineering and consultancy company with experience locally, regionally, and internationally. We provide excavation services and engineering consultancy, construction of residential and commercial structures, civil works such as drainage, retaining walls, roads, concrete patio services, paving services, concrete driveway services, remodeling and renovation, painting services, styling services, and so much more. Ask about our rental services of excavators, heavy equipment, metal formwork, and steel prop. Contact us today via telephone number 537-9675 or email infinitecontractors19@gmail.com.
Gifts of love with trend, bringing love for you this year. Communion showing that we care. With gifts of love with
It's your Gifts of Love for Cheer 2.0. 'Tis the season for holly jolly days at the communal. It's all about sharing the warmth of this season with those you love, getting on this special loan, taking advantage of great interest rates with no principal payments until January 2023. Share the gift of love. Make it a merrier Christmas with the communal. Exciting prizes for members throughout the promotion. For we are your Santa this Christmas. Offer ends January 31st, 2023. Lending terms and conditions apply.
Anywhere at any time and have it delivered to you right here in Grenada at yogo.gd.
Allied Laboratories welcomes you. You can find us here on Gladstone Road in Grenville, in the building next to Calico, on the second floor, adjacent to Dr. Isaac's office. Or you can find us here on Grand Anse Main Road, adjacent to South Winds, opposite the entrance of XL Plaza. Contact our Grenville branch at 410-3488 or 419-1588 or send us an email at alliedlabgrenville@gmail.com. You can contact our Grand Dance branch at 403-3488 or 404-3488, or send us an email at alliedlabstgeorge@gmail.com.
Fit for life and allied laboratories. We're taking care of Grenada.
Government of Grenada lays down 3 options on the way forward for the MNIB. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report.
Have you noticed an increase or decrease in your electricity bill? You know that changes in the fuel and non-fuel rates affect your bill. You should also be aware that changes in household activities affect your bill. Ask yourself these questions. Have the rates changed? Have there been more people at your home? Have your children been on holiday? Have you used your fan or air conditioning unit more often to beat the heat? Are any of your electrical appliances or equipment faulty? Have you added any new appliances such as transformers, water heaters, or pumps? Make it a habit to understand any changes on your electricity bill. For more factors that affect your bill, visit www.grenlec.com. Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
With the details to the news for Wednesday, January 11th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. The government of Grenada is considering a few options as it moves forward towards addressing the grave financial sinkhole that the Marketing and the National Importing Board has found itself. When the new administration of Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell assumed office in June 2022, it was confronted with the reality of the dire state of the MNIB, which currently owes about 12 million EC dollars in debt to both farmers and other suppliers, as well as other financial and non-financial institutions. To keep the company afloat, government had to pay the salaries of workers for November and December 2022 and anticipates having to pay their January salaries as well. Prime Minister Mitchell says the situation at the MNIB has deteriorated so badly that creditors have begun knocking on the doors of government demanding outstanding payments.
The Marketing and National Importing Board owes 2 banks significant sums of money, totaling roughly about $6 million. As it stands, the MNIB is unable to pay the banks, and the banks have indicated to the government that obviously, in polite language, they'd like to know how they are getting their money. Item 3, give or take, MNIB owes about $2.8 million to other creditors. I suspect some of those other creditors, some of you may be in the room. That involves farmers, suppliers, landlords from which it is operating, utility suppliers like the power company, etc. And obviously it is challenged to pay these persons as well. The amount owed roughly is about $2.8 million to these persons. And so we are challenged because obviously the government has to make a decision in the current circumstances whether and how and to what extent it can continue supporting the Marketing National Importing Board.
In light of this, after meetings with the staff and union representative of the MNIB, government laid down a few options on the way forward for the organization and is taking these ideas to the people for discussion. 3 options were laid on the table. 1, a complete shutdown of MNIB and the creation of a new entity. 2, a partial closing of some aspects of MNIB and government assuming some of the debt. And 3, government continues to pump money into the MNIB in hope that the board can find effective managers to turn things around.
The other option is to completely close marketing board down. And the government assumes all of the liabilities I've just mentioned, which is the government then has to take over the loan approximating to $6 million to the banks, find the money to pay the severance to the staff, which, give or take, we are told is in the region of $2.5 or $3 million, subject to verification, and assume the 2.8 subject to verification $1 million that is owed to other persons. That doesn't factor in the fact that MNIB itself owes the government several millions of dollars from the government having, for example, taken over the payment of the Answer McCall loan, which was about $4 million that MNIB could not pay. The government took that over. There's a company owned by the government, Petrocarb Grenada Limited, which also lent MNIB substantial sums in the millions as well. That has not been paid or serviced. So ignoring those for the time being, if the decision was made to shut MNIB down, we would have to pay the severance to the employees between $2.5 and maybe $3 million. We'd also have to pay the other persons MNIB owe, including farmers, which is roughly another $2.8 to $3 million. That's about $6 million. We'd have to pay the banks, which is roughly about $6 million. So that's about $12 million. That's if we simply shut it down and didn't do anything else. So that's one option. The other option is to shut it down and to start afresh. And to start afresh, at least from the discussions held by the government, would involve forming a company that permits the government, the private sector, and other stakeholders to become shareholders and have a public-private partnership that allows for MNIB to come back as a new entity. The other option is to look at a restructuring or revamping of MNIB that involves potentially sending some of the staff home, closing down some of the outlets, particularly the retail outlets that sells food and juices and what have you, and attempting to get MNIB to concentrate on what perhaps people may say its core function, which is the purchasing of farmers' produce, hopefully the storage, sorting, preservation, and the finding of markets for the produce, including the export market. So that option is halfway between shutting down completely and doing nothing at all. That option also would involve the government having to pay some of the workers their severance. It would also involve the government having to assume and pay some of the debts owed to farmers and other personnel, including utilities, etc. It would perhaps also involve the government having to pay the banks some of the funds, because if the loans are not serviced and serviced in a timely manner, the banks do have the power to step in regardless of what the government says.
Some of the people in attendance gave their views on the MNIB issue and the way forward.
Right now, we cannot close down marketing board. If we close down marketing board, Grenada closed down. We need marketing board needs the farmers. So we have to look for a solution to revive marketing board. One of the solutions is that they get foreign market for the farmers, that marketing board should not be competing with the farmers.
Well, I've been selling to marketing board since Mr. James' time, so that's a long time, since I was a little girl. And it bring me to my independence. I just tell people I'm an independent woman because I could do anything and get anything I need. So it will be very sad to lose marketing board right now, because some of my independence will be gone, because that is one of my main markets besides the market in the States. That's my main market where I supply all my stuffs like cocoa ball, all the spices.
The first consultation with the public was held on Tuesday at the St. Andrew Methodist School. Education Minister Senator the Honorable David Andrew makes an appeal to parents and guardians to use the appropriate channels to address conflicts. Minister Andrew, who is also a psychologist, described an incident which occurred on Tuesday and has sparked much debate on social media as regrettable. Sarana Mitchell reports.
I think that occurrence is pretty regrettable. It ought not to happen. I don't know the circumstances, so I can't speak to any detail, but it's just not in good taste that a parent, regardless to the circumstances, would choose as an adult to engage in physical demonstrations of that sort on a student.
Minister for Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, Honorable Senator David Andrew. Minister Andrew says another approach could have been taken, such as engaging the school or the ministry.
Because there are channels. There's a principal. I'm sure even if it were a case where there was some altercation among students, there are counselors in most of the schools assigned. There's a department through the ministry, there's a chief education officer. There are so many layers through which any such issue that may occur can be treated with than to deal with it themselves. So, I mean, as Minister for Education, I think it very regrettable. I want to apologize to the persons who've been offended and suggest that we follow all of the channels.
The minister, who is also a psychologist, mentions that bullying in any form has detrimental effects.
I mean, bullying is not something that we need to tolerate. And persons abusing each other, be it an adult to a child or a child to a child, it's just not something that we as a Ministry of Education condones. It hurts, it damages emotionally, psychologically, and it leads to a lot of ripple effects down the road. But what could be more detrimental is our response to it. Because if you respond negatively, like I believe that response was, it still doesn't make the matter better. And it could further compound it. So it's something that I personally condemn, and I wish it doesn't have to happen again.
Senator Andrew reiterates the need to utilize the channels that exist if any disagreement ever occurs.
Should any conflict arise, I suggest to parents, to anybody, students even, talk to a teacher, talk to an educator, talk to somebody in the school system, talk to a responsible adult, but to take it into your own hands, I mean, that's just a breakdown of every other law and order there could be, and it's not something that we support.
For the National Report, I am Sarana Mitchell.
Thank you, Sarana. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
My name is Travon Lead, and I'm a fisherman of Guam, St. John's. Well, I've been fishing for about 7 years, since I was about 16, and my father is a fisherman, and I grew up in that. I love to fish, and that helps to feed the community of Guam. Some of the challenges I faced before, I had a smaller boat, and I used to row and fish. But now that I'm a successful applicant, I'm going to use the funds to buy a bigger boat and an engine, and that's going to benefit me and my family and to help others. It's a yes for sis.
Welcome back. Coordinator of the National Award Ceremony, Jacqueline Alexis, says nomination deadline is Thursday, January 19th. The National Celebrations Committee recently made a call for the submission of names of Grenadians who have either made a significant contribution to nation building or had a personal achievement so that they can be recognized during the 49th Independence celebrations this year. Alexis said the National Award ceremony will be incorporated into the rally at the National Stadium on February 7th.
Something that they believe is deserving of recognition on a national scale. And so we're asking the general public to submit those names to us at the ministry to email address. It's MINSEC, so it's MINSEC at sports.gov.gd. So that's MINSEC at sports.gov.gd. No later than the 19th of January, so that's next week, Thursday, 19th of January, by 4 p.m. at the latest.
The submission must include a citation, statement on the achievement, contact details for both the nominee and the nominator.
We're looking at 4 to 5 awards, and obviously, depending on what comes in, we will make a final decision. We're not necessarily saying it has to be from one specific parish or the other. Sometimes it might be that there is a parish that has 2, there might be a parish that has none. So it's just, we will select the best of the best, basically.
Finally, in the news, Grenada is now the 15th country to accede to the Basel, Rotterdam and Stockholm Conventions aimed at protecting the environment from hazardous chemicals and waste. Officials conducted a one-day workshop on Wednesday with relevant ministries and departments to give a better understanding about Grenada's role, responsibilities and expectations from the convention. Basel Convention Regional Center for the Caribbean is a coordinating center established under the Basel Convention. Grenada first expressed interest in joining the convention in 2022. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Climate Resilience, Environment and Renewable Energy, and Grenada's focal point of the Basel Convention is Marina Jessamy. She highlighted the significance of the convention and how Grenada stands to benefit.
The conventions that we are managing, we cannot implement them alone. And that is why we have with us, I will try not to be exhaustive, but just to pull out the persons that are here. We are happy with the Port Authority, with Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority. We have Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have Ministry of Carrico and Petit Martinique Affairs. And I can go on and on, Ministry of Health. Because we realize that we cannot implement alone. So when it comes to the SDGs, number 3, good health and well-being. Number 12, responsible consumption and production. Number 13, climate action. Number 14, life below water. Number 15, life on land. Number 17, effective partnerships to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.
Director of Basel Convention Regional Center for the Caribbean, Jewel Bachasing, gave an overview of the workshop.
Since such time as the accession, the BCRC Caribbean has provided support to the country in order to ensure that the obligations are met under the convention. So prior to this meeting, we've had 2 separate webinars with the Government of Grenada representatives. But today, since COVID also has been a bit lessened, we opted for the face-to-face. So the purpose of the workshop today is to explain to stakeholders about the Basel Convention, the obligations specific to the Basel Convention, and do an actual training exercise because it requires understanding of certain documents that have to happen. The Basel Convention deals with the transboundary movement of waste and chemicals, and it's imperative that these documents are understood in order to ensure that the obligations are met by the Government of Grenada.
Research analyst Janin Budram spoke on the prior informed consent procedure under the convention that enables parties to introduce legislation to prevent and punish those involved in illegally trafficking hazardous chemicals and other waste.
The objectives are to ensure that if hazardous waste or other waste which are listed for control under the convention must be shipped to any other country, prior informed consent must be received from the states which are involved in that movement. So this would include any states of transit as well as the state of import. And of course, once it does reach that state of import, it's also important to ensure that the facility which is receiving the waste is in compliance with national regulations and has the capacity to dispose of the waste or recover the waste depending on the waste stream in an environmentally sound manner.
That story just ended the national report for Wednesday, January 11th. Let's recap the top story. Government of Grenada lays down 3 options on the way forward for the Marketing and National Importing Board. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Rikisha. She's beautiful, right? Yeah, Rikisha is very beautiful. Thanks, Rikisha and the rest of the GIS News team. And of course, what we have now for you is the weather. From the Met Office, we can tell you that the weather is expected to be generally fair, becoming partly cloudy at times with 3 brief early morning showers. The minimum temperature for tonight, 23.5 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas moderate, waves up to 6 feet in open waters. And on Thursday, we can tell you that the weather is expected to be partly cloudy, hazy, and windy with few brief showers becoming generally fair during the afternoon. Max temperature 29 degrees Celsius at a minimum 24. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 16 to 26 miles per hour, gusting higher at times. Seas moderate, waves up to 6 feet in open waters. That's our weather report for tonight and tomorrow. YouTube viewers, we say hello to you like Suzanne and Clarichelle and Glenora and Marcel and everyone else who is currently on YouTube. We want to say hello to you, and we are always happy that you are with us. Likewise, we would like to say hello to the folks who are on Facebook. Let's see who's there. We have Suzette, we have Hazel, we have Kirin, we have Shirin, we have Eunice, we have Tracy, we have Avril, we have Pingling, we have Miriam, we have Shum Shum. I said Hazeland, right? We have Java on the sharing committee. We have Pearl. Hi, Pearl, what's going on? We have Della. We have Vicky. We have Robbie. Robbie, you have not been around. I have not seen you in a while. Where have you been, Robbie? Delian. Michelle again, Ezran, Claire, Celine, and Sherry Batiste, and Bermuda. Who else is with us as well? Mikey, and now almost put me... Stop! Blessings to you, Tracy. Augustine, Pe, hello to you too. And who else? Everybody, really. Everybody. Ansha, how are you? And have a great one, okay? Bermuda and the crew. Selma, what's going on? I see that you're there, Selma. So blessings to you too, okay? So, Adonna, how are you? Robbie, who goes on vacation from Facebook? Okay, well, welcome back. Kirin and Lesworth. How are you? That's Joseph. Blessings to you too, okay? I say Hazeland already, right? Yeah, so Hazeland, Wagwan. Anyway, guys, I'm hoping that you'll be good. Sherry, all right, and the others. Some of you who have not yet shared, I'd like you to share the thing. Patty, hi Patty. Adonna, I'm good. I'm actually good. I'm just a bit tired. Had a long day today, but I'm all right. Okay, thanks for asking. Diana and the crew, blessings to you too. So thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, take care. Let's go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We all say Ja, No, Wendian, Wagwan. All right. Blessings. Take care. And may God bless. So don't forget, we have a special program tomorrow. Don't you miss it. All right. It's going to be a very interesting program. All right. So we'll see you. Take care.